All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another one for Fear the Walking Dead. This will be our weekly video predictions, what we think is going to happen in next week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. This is for episode 12. Now it is called Ner Tamid. Alright, so continuing along with the Fear the Walking Dead videos, for this one I'm not sure if it really necessarily, requires a predictions video, but I'm in the habit of doing it every week. I've been doing it for Walking Dead and also most of the time for Fear, since the beginning of the series. Reviewed every episode of both series, of course, and so just continuing along with the usual stuff. I'll put the links in the description to the AMC promotionary, the sort of trailer, which is like a next on, they call it, and the sneak peek for episode 12 for Ner Tamid. And I'll tell you right away, guys, I think next week's episode will be a little bit, I don't know. It looks like from the sneak peek in the trailer that there's likely no Morgan, no Althea, no Strand, no Alicia, no Wes, I guess, if you want to really care to count him in there. Obviously, he's new with episode 11. If you guys didn't see my review for episode 11, it's in the channel right now. From the first comments I'm seeing, it looks like most people hated the episode even more than I did. There were certain things about the episode I was like, it's okay. But certainly the whole premise of the episode was pretty strange. Anyway, watch the review all the way through, and we go through all the details of kind of what was going on in episode 11. So Ner Tamid, I had to Google this one because I didn't know what the episode name meant, and this would be for 12, so we have 5 episodes left of this season. And again, it's right around that time. As I've been saying recently, it's around that time. The mid-season finale is over. We're not yet geared up for the season finale, so we're kind of in these episodes here where they're the in-between episodes. They're the in-between times. So Ner Tamid, it says from Google, Judaism, it says that it is a lamp that burns perpetually in Jewish synagogues before or near the Ark of the Law. So I'm not familiar with that, but I guess it's some kind of lamp or something. The meaning behind it, I'm not sure. So in a synagogue, and it looks like in this episode we're going to be meeting a rabbi. So that show that has Z in the title that ends with nation, every week, guys. And I'm sorry, I know people are probably getting upset. They're like, Trev, you're constantly comparing Fear the Walking Dead to Z Nation nowadays. And, I'm sorry, guys. I can't help but do it because every week, it feels like there's so many things that probably fit better in Z Nation's universe than they do the Walking Dead's universe. A lot of the characters that we have now and the new characters that we're meeting along the way, a lot of them feel very gimmicky or just very kind of silly. In this case, we meet a rabbi. In episode 12, the synopsis reads, "In search of a permanent home for the convoy, Chalie is drawn to a synagogue where she encounters a rabbi surviving on his own." So maybe something along the lines of like Gabriel, but rabbi Jewish, something like this. Sarah and Dwight face unexpected foes. So from the previews, we can see there's the convoy, which is kind of cool, actually. You get to see an overhead view of it, and it's like circled off with all the vehicles kind of around to protect everybody. And then you have Sarah and Dwight that are just sitting there drinking beer. So it's kind of funny. Sarah is ridiculous again, like I said about that other show, she's a character from the other show. She would fit better in Z Nation than she would fit in the Walking Dead universe. I'm just going to say it. So Sarah and June, Sarah says, locked up tighter than a fireman's sphincter on the 4th of July. Okay, so that's with the convoy. So the convoy is secure in the way they've kind of designed, which I thought was pretty cool to see in the trailer, that they've got kind of it all circled off, and they have kind of a strategy for as they're moving it. Then they're doing head counts, they're finding out who's where, and we get the sense that the group has grown a lot. It's pretty big. You get to see in this episode that it's you've got a lot of people there now. Morgan and the others trying to help people has allowed them to add a lot to their numbers, but now they have problems along with that, in that because they have a big number of people that they're taking care of and that they're helping. Morgan has a huge group now, maybe one that's even could rival Alexandria or one of these other groups in the Walking Dead original series in terms of head count, in terms of number. They have a lot of people, so they have to find resources. So in this one, it looks like they're going to be going out looking for resources. They also say that they're almost out of gas. They've got about 1,000 gallons, I think she said. And they're traveling around with this huge amount of people, and they're driving, a lot of big vehicles, SWAT vehicles and trucks and things like this. So they are going to run out. So again, the continuing kind of storyline with the kind of gas idea, which I don't think is a bad idea, because it's true that that is a scarce resource. And if you're able to kind of find some, it makes sense. But Logan, I think, has not been as aggressive as would naturally be the case based on kind of this universe and what we're used to for Walking Dead characters. You'd think that it'd be more of a cutthroat kind of style rather than I'm going to block your way and give you a stern talking to and hope that you tell me what I want to hear, kind of 80s villain type of way. So at least in my opinion, right? It's just my opinion. So that's what's going on here. So we've got in the promo Logan, who says we're about to buy ourselves a ticket to the promised land. So maybe they found out, or they have some inkling or idea of where the oil fields might be as they're on this this goose chase to try to find the oil fields. Maybe from the tapes they were able to find something out. You've got John, June, and Charlie and the others stuck in some kind of mansion or synagogue or something like this. It's nice looking, right? It looks nice, so it looks like some kind of really nice building, and you have walkers all around, that kind of thing. And you have Dwight and Sarah with the Circle Convoy drinking beer. They meet the rabbi here, who you can kind of see. And John is in trouble from the looks of things, as they're trying to find fuel and maybe other supplies as well too. Charlie, of course, getting herself into some trouble. Maybe she's the one who's gone missing when Dwight was thinking about the head count. Maybe Charlie has kind of wandered off, which would be totally in character for her. I also don't see Daniel in this one, and I thought he would probably be in there somewhere. So again, a lot of different survivors in fear right now, and they're sectioning it off episode to episode to certain subgroups, which they kind of have to do, both because of, number one, because of budget, I would think, for fear, and kind of what they're able to do and what they're not. Obviously, these type of episodes are not big finales or big premieres, and they did do a lot in the first half of the season with the plane and with all this other stuff that probably did cost quite a bit. So I feel like with the new showrunners kind of direction for fear, it kind of feels to me like the first half of the season, they sort of do pretty big things, and they have done, and then the second half, it kind of tends to kind of fizzle out by the end. Season 4 did the same thing. Like, it started off really intense with Morgan crossing over, Madison, Nick, and all the crazy stuff they did. They did a lot of big things, vultures and all that, stadium. And then the second half, it just kind of continued, but it just kind of continued. Like, it didn't really, not that much really happened in the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. It just kind of went through. I mean, I guess in terms of philosophy, they learned that helping people is really a noble cause and everything like that, and that you should, because the villain in the second half of Fear was not helped, and as a result, so you kind of get into that. But aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot in the second half, and I'm hoping that the second half of this season of Fear is a little bit better, and that at least they have something big for us at the finale, because I wouldn't want to have too many episodes like these from what we're seeing right now, where you're adding on new characters, but it just kind of feels like the direction is kind of, I'm not sure about like where things are going or what, which was never ever the case with the original Walking Dead, because we had the comics there always to look ahead, and we knew where things were going. It was never in this kind of state where you're just like, okay, where are you guys going with this? like what's happening with this? So you get the jokes and stuff from Sarah. You have Dwight there, is cool, who's got the awesome Amelia with the shaven face now, so he's baby-faced Dwight, he's good guy Dwight, which is fun. So that's kind of a neat sort of I guess kind of a thing you could think of, that he's a baby face now, so he's got he's shaved his face, he's a good guy now, so that's kind of fun too. And that's pretty much it for it. I mean, I just think, episode 12, I wouldn't expect too much going into it next week, guys. Based on the trailer and what I'm seeing here, it just looks like it's going to be, I'm not going to say a filler episode, but it looks like it's going to be, let's use the words in the middle episode. Okay, filler episode. In the middle episode. And, you're going to meet this guy, and maybe he'll die by the end. And do we need a rabbi in the group for Fear? Is he going to join too? And how many people can you add on without having some character deaths? It's almost like at the beginning of the season I was like, don't kill anybody, because there were so many character deaths recently. The original Walking Dead, it Game of Thrones edited in such a crazy fashion that I was like, don't kill anyone. And now it's like the second half of the season, and I'm like, okay, we probably need to have some character deaths pretty soon here for it to feel real still, because it's starting to feel kind of ridiculous at some points. Anyway, that'll be it. Let me know what your guys' comments are, Q&As for this week. What are we going to talk about this week? I have no idea. The preview for next week, it doesn't look that great. It just looks like, whatever. I don't know. So something to watch, I guess. But, I'm kind of more looking forward to the finale for Fear and kind of seeing, how the season wraps up and kind of where they're going to go with it in the future. Because that's the big question for me right now. Maybe the gas angle is a good one. But let's see how it ends up with Logan and everything. He's in this episode too. So let me know what you guys think. Watch through the videos and leave your comments below. How are you feeling right now about Fear after episode 11? Leave me your questions for the Q&As for this week, and we'll do at least one. I want to do at least one. I don't know how many, but at least one Q&A this week for Fear. Even though the preview for next week doesn't look that promising for me anyway. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. Unless Sarah, Dwight and John and June are your favorite characters, and Chalie, then maybe you're heavily looking forward to it. I don't even see Daniel in this one, so I don't know. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, leave the questions for the Q&As. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for the Q&A video for Fear this week. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.